Meet Maria. Maria wants to send 1 million Millix to John and is willing to pay a transaction fee of 1,000 Millix. Maria's node is connected to many other nodes. Any of the nodes that Maria is connected to that are accessible on a public IP address are eligible to act as a proxy for Maria's transaction. Each peer node announces the minimum transaction fee that they are willing to accept to validate and propagate a transaction for a sender. Meet Tyler. Tyler is running a random peer node that is public and willing to do the work for the 1,000 Millix fee. Tyler's node is selected as a transaction proxy. The transaction indicates that 1 million Millix is being sent to John and 1,000 Millix is being sent to Tyler. Tyler's node gathers historical data as needed to validate that Maria is sending a valid transaction. By gathering the historical data needed to validate the transaction, a copy of the historical data which may have only existed on Maria's node is spread to Tyler's node. This helps to ensure that the critical data needed to validate the transaction is more easily available for other nodes that inspect this transaction. Since Tyler's transaction fee payment is coming from the transaction they are working to validate, Tyler is incentivized to do a thorough job. If the transaction proxy determines that the transaction is valid, they notify the sender that everything looks good and that they will broadcast a newly validated transaction to the rest of the network. The transaction proxy sends the transaction to all its peers, who then send it to all their peers until it arrives in John's wallet. John needs to be certain that the transaction is valid. So, John asks randomly selected nodes for consensus that the transaction is good.